The ship landed with a soft thud on the dusty surface of Voris 7. The door hissed open, and Taewon Kim stepped out into the orange light of the alien sun. He took a deep breath, but the air that filled his lungs came from his mask. No human could breathe on this planet without help. Taewon was tired. His eyes showed it. He had seen too many worlds, too many creatures. Some of those creatures were now gone forever because of missions like this one. The thought made his chest tight. Final equipment check, he said to himself, his voice low and rough. Taewon touched the screen on his wrist. All systems showed green. His shelter pod, food, water, and research tools were ready. In the distance, he could see the ruins of what was once a great building. It was now just broken walls and fallen towers. The Voraxian Empire had built it long ago. Now the Empire was gone, defeated by the Galactic Coalition. But something still lived in those ruins. The battle Hunds. Taewon looked at the small picture on his screen. The creature shown there was large, with thick muscles under dark fur. Its teeth were long and sharp. Its eyes seemed to burn with intelligence and fury. The battle Hunds had been made by the Voraxians to fight their wars. They were living weapons, faster and stronger than any natural animal. "Your job is simple, Dr. Kim," his boss had told him before he left. "Study them. Record everything. In 2 months, the Coalition will clean the planet. These monsters will be gone, like their masters." Taewon nodded to himself. That was the official mission. Watch and record as the last battle Hunds lived out their final days. Then stand back as the Coalition ships came to kill them all. But Taewon had a different plan. He pressed a button, and his shelter pod unfolded itself. Within minutes, it had become a small but complete research station. Taewon went inside and set up his equipment. Cameras would watch the ruins day and night. Sensors would record sounds and smells too faint for humans to notice. As the sun began to set, Taewon sat at his desk and opened his journal program. Day 1 on Voris 7. He spoke, and the computer wrote his words. "I have arrived at the site where the last known pack of battle Hunds lives. Coalition orders are to observe only. In 2 months, they plan to sterilize the planet." He paused, thinking of all the other times he had written such words. All the other creatures now gone from the universe. "But these battle Hunds are different," he continued. "Reports show they have survived here for years after their masters fell. They have adapted. They have built their own society. This suggests an intelligence far beyond what we have been told." Taewon looked out the window at the ruins, now dark against the night sky. "I believe there is more to these creatures than the Coalition wants to admit. If I'm right, killing them would be wrong. It would be another crime in a long list of crimes I have helped commit." He shut off the recording and moved to the window. As he watched, a shadow moved among the ruins. Then another. The battle Hunds were coming out into the night. Taewon felt fear, but also something else. Hope, maybe. "I won't watch you die," he whispered to the shadows. "Not this time. Not if there's another way." In the distance, a pair of eyes caught the light from his window. They glowed like small fires in the darkness. For a moment, it seemed the creature was looking right at him. Then it was gone. Taewon knew his real work was just beginning. 3 days passed. Taewon sat in his shelter, eyes fixed on his screens. The cameras showed him more than he had hoped for. The battle Hunds were not just surviving in the ruins. They were living there. They had made homes. "This is nothing like the reports," Taewon said to himself as he watched. The battle Hunds moved in groups. They hunted together. They shared food. When a younger one fell behind, an older one waited for it. These were not the mindless killing machines Taewon had been told about. Most interesting was their leader. Taewon had named him Ghost because of his light gray fur. Ghost was larger than the others. A long scar ran down his face, over one eye, but it was not his size that made him the leader. It was how the others looked to him, how they waited for his signal before they moved. "They have a social order," Taewon recorded in his journal. They care for each other. This is not random pack behavior. This is a society. A noise outside made Taewon look up. A ship was landing. He frowned. No one was supposed to come until the end of his mission. The ship was small but had coalition military markings. The door opened, and a woman stepped out. She wore the uniform of a coalition officer. Her face was stern, her black hair pulled back tight. "Dr. Kim," she called as she walked toward his shelter. "I am Officer Ju Park." Taewon opened his door. "I was not told to expect anyone." Ju's smile did not reach her eyes. "The coalition felt you might need supervision. Your past reports have been too sympathetic to your subjects." Taewon felt cold inside. They did not trust him. They had sent someone to watch him. "Come in," he said, stepping aside. "I have just made tea." Inside, Ju looked at his screens. Her eyes narrowed when she saw the battle Hunds. "You have good views of the monsters," she said. "They are not monsters," Taewon replied. "At least I don't think so. Look." He showed her the recordings he had made. Battle Hunds working together to move a large stone. Battle Hunds sharing food. Young ones playing while older ones watched. "They were made to kill," Jiu said. "That is their purpose. Nothing more." "Things can change," Taewon said. "They have been alone here for years. No masters, no orders. They have become something new." Jiu shook her head. "The coalition cannot take that risk. These creatures killed thousands during the war. They cannot be allowed to live. But if they are more than weapons, if they can think, feel, build a society, don't they deserve a chance? Thinking makes them more dangerous, not less," Jiu said. "My orders are clear. I am to make sure you complete your study, and then the cleansing will begin." Taewon looked back at his screens. Outside, Ghost had appeared. The pale battle Hund was looking directly at the shelter, as if he knew they were talking about him. "I need to get closer," Taewon said suddenly. "All of this is from a distance. For a proper study, I need to observe them up close." "That is not safe," Jiu said. "Science is often not safe," Taewon replied. "I will go tomorrow." Jiu stared at him for a long moment. "I will go with you." "As you wish," Taewon said. He looked again at Ghost on the screen. The battle Hund was still watching, waiting. Tomorrow would be the real test, not just of the battle Hunds, but of Taewon's belief that they could be more than what they were made to be. As the sun set, Ghost and his pack disappeared into the ruins. But Taewon knew they were still there, watching. And for the first time, he wondered if they understood more than anyone thought possible. Morning came to Voris 7 with dark clouds. Taewon looked up at the sky with worry. "We should wait," he said to Jiu. "The weather on this planet can be dangerous." "We go now," Jiu said. Her voice was firm. "I have little time to waste." Taewon nodded. He packed his tools, a small camera, water, and food into a bag. They set out toward the ruins where the battle Hunds lived. The land was rough. Broken rocks covered the ground. Dead trees stood like black fingers pointing at the sky. The wind began to blow harder. "There," Taewon said, pointing. "I saw movement in that old building." They moved closer. The building had once been tall, but now half of it lay in pieces on the ground. Walls still stood on one side, creating a shelter. "I see nothing," Jiu said. Her hand rested on her weapon. "Put that away," Taewon said. "We are here to watch, not to threaten." Jiu frowned but did as he asked. They crept closer. The wind grew stronger. The dark clouds above them turned darker still. Then the rain began. It came suddenly, in sheets so thick they could hardly see. "We need to go back," Jiu shouted over the storm. But before they could turn, a great crack of lightning hit a dead tree near them. The tree fell, and the ground beneath Taewon gave way. He fell, sliding down a steep slope of mud and rocks. "Taewon!" Jiu shouted, but he was gone. Taewon tumbled down, hitting his head on a rock. When he stopped falling, he lay still for a moment, his head spinning. Rain poured down on him. His leg hurt badly. When he tried to stand, pain shot through him. His equipment was lost in the mud. "Jiu," he called, but the storm swallowed his voice. Then he saw them. Eyes in the darkness. Many eyes, watching him. The battle Hunds had found him. Taewon froze. He remembered all his years of study. When faced with a predator, do not run. Do not show fear. He made himself breathe slowly. He did not reach for a weapon. He had none anyway. The largest of the battle Hunds stepped forward. It was Ghost, his pale fur dark with rain. His scared face was just meters from Taewon now. Taewon looked into Ghost's eyes. They were not the eyes of a... Taewon woke in darkness. For a moment, he did not know where he was. Then he remembered. The storm, the fall, the battle Hunds. He was lying on something soft. Dry plants, he realized. A bed of sorts. His injured leg had been wrapped in large leaves. The pain was less now. Taewon looked around. He was in a large room with broken walls. Moonlight came through holes in the ceiling. He was not alone. 3 battle Hunds lay near him, sleeping. Ghost was not among them. These were smaller ones. Jiu stepped out from her hiding place. Her hand stayed near her weapon, but she did not draw it. Her eyes moved from Taewon to the battle Hunds, and back again. "What is happening here?" she asked, her voice tight with fear and confusion. "They saved me," Taewon said. "They healed my leg. They have been teaching me their ways." Ghost stood tall beside Taewon. He made a series of sounds that Taewon now understood meant greeting and caution. "This is Jiu," Taewon said to Ghost. "She is not here to hurt you." Jiu stared at the pale battle Hund. "You talk to them like they understand you." "They do understand," Taewon said. "Not every word, but enough. And I am learning their language too. They call themselves the Kulin, not battle Hunds." Jiu shook her head. "This is not possible. They are weapons, not people." "Come with me," Taewon said. "There is something I need to show you, something Ghost wants us both to see." Ghost led them deeper into the ruins. They went down broken stairs, into parts of the building that were still whole beneath the ground. The walls here had writing on them, strange marks that Taewon did not recognize. "Voraxian writing," Jiu whispered, "from the old empire." They came to a large metal door. It was partly open. Ghost pushed it with his head, and it moved with a loud creak. Inside was a room filled with machines. Lights still blinked on some of them. "A laboratory," Taewon said. "This is where they made the Kulin." Ghost went to one of the machines. He pressed a button with his paw. A screen lit up. Images appeared. Voraxians with small Kulin beside them, but they were not in battle. They were in homes. The small Kulin played with Voraxian children. "What is this?" Jiu asked. "Their true history," Taewon said, his voice full of wonder. "The Kulin were not made for war. They were made as companions, protectors for Voraxian children." More images showed Kulin growing up with their Voraxian families. Then the images changed. Soldiers appeared. The Kulin were taken away. New machines were shown, changing them, making them bigger, stronger. "The war came," Taewon said. "The Empire needed weapons. They took the Kulin and changed them, forced them to fight." Ghost made a sad, low sound. "The other Kulin did too." "They remember," Taewon said, "not just from their own lives. The memories are passed down, from parent to child. It's in their genes." "Genetic memory," Jiu said. "That's why they are so intelligent. They carry the knowledge of all their ancestors." Ghost led them deeper into the room. Here, behind more machines, was something hidden. A nest made of soft materials. In it lay 3 small forms. Baby Kulin. "Pups," Taewon whispered. "They have been having children all this time." Jiu looked at the small Kulin. then at Ghost. "The Coalition does not know about this," she said. "They think the Kulin are just the last adults from the war. If they knew there were new generations, they would move faster to kill them all," Taewon said. Ghost looked at them both. His eyes seemed to understand exactly what they were saying. He made a sound, a deep rumble that Taewon now knew meant trust and hope. "He is asking for our help," Taewon said. Jiu knelt down to look at the pups. One of them woke up and made a tiny whistle. Despite herself, Jiu smiled. "All my life, I was told the battle Hunds were monsters," she said, "but these are not monsters. These are families. Will you help me protect them?" Taewon asked. Jiu was quiet for a long moment. Then she nodded. "Yes, but it will not be easy. The Coalition is determined to destroy them." As they spoke, a sound came from Jiu's pack. Her radio was beeping. She pulled it out and listened to the message. Her face went pale. "What is it?" Taewon asked. "The Coalition ships," Jiu said. "They're coming early. They will be here in 3 days." 3 days, Taewon said, his voice breaking. "That's not possible. We were supposed to have 2 months." Jiu's face was grim. "Someone has changed the plan." They left the hidden room, walking back through the old halls with Ghost leading the way. The other Kulin sensed something was wrong. They gathered around, making low, worried sounds. "We need to get back to our shelters," Jiu said. "I need to find out why the schedule changed." Taewon nodded. "Ghost, we have to go, but we will come back. I promise." Ghost made a sound that Taewon now understood meant agreement. The Kulin would wait. Back at the research shelter, Jiu used the communication system to call Coalition headquarters. Commander Hyun's face appeared on the screen. "Officer Park," he said, his voice cold. "I see you survived the storm." "Yes, sir," Jiu replied. "And Dr. Kim is alive too. He has made an amazing discovery about the battle Huns." "That is not important now," Hyun cut her off. "The operation has been moved forward. The cleansing ships will arrive in 3 days." "But why?" Taewon asked, stepping into view. "My research is not complete." Hyun's eyes narrowed. "Dr. Kim, how interesting that you survived contact with those creatures." He paused. "The schedule changed because new information came to light. The planet has valuable minerals, very valuable. A company wants to mine them, but they cannot start while the battle Huns live here." "You're killing them for money." Taewon could not keep the anger from his voice. "We're killing them because they are dangerous," Hyun said. "The mining is simply a bonus. You have 3 days to finish your research, Doctor. Then you will leave." The screen went black. Jiu looked at Taewon. "He knows something is wrong. He suspects you have gotten too close to the Kulin." "We have to warn them," Taewon said. "We have to help them escape." "Escape how? Where would they go?" Jiu asked. Before Taewon could answer, alarms began to sound. The shelter's sensors had picked up movement outside. Many movements. Taewon ran to the door and looked out. Coalition soldiers were approaching. A small ship had landed nearby without them noticing. "They're here already," Taewon said. "Hyun must have sent them to make sure we follow orders. Or to stop us if we don't," Jiu said. The soldiers reached the door. Their leader, a tall man with hard eyes, spoke. "Dr. Kim, Officer Park, Commander Hyun wants you both back at base. Now." "My research isn't finished," Taewon said. "That's not a request," the soldier replied. "It's an order." Jiu stepped forward. "We are coming. Let us gather our things." The soldier nodded. 5 minutes. When the door closed, Jiu whispered, "They're going to arrest you. Hyun knows you want to save the Kulin." "What about you?" Taewon asked. "I'm an officer. They expect me to follow orders." Jiu looked into Taewon's eyes. "But I won't. Not this time. We need to escape now. There's a back exit. If we can reach the ruins, The Kulin can hide us. Taewon stared at her. You would risk everything. Your career. Your life. I've seen the truth now, Jiu said. The Kulin are not monsters. We are, if we let them die for company profits. They gathered only what they needed. Emergency supplies, a map, Taewon's research. Then they slipped out the back door while the soldiers waited at the front. Stop! A shout came from behind them. The soldiers had seen them. Shots fired, hitting the ground near their feet. Run! Jiu pushed Taewon ahead. Get to the ruins. Warn Ghost. They ran, bullets flying past them. They'd reached the edge of the ruins just as Taewon felt a sharp pain in his arm. A bullet had grazed him. But they kept going, deeper into the broken buildings where the soldiers would have trouble following. Ghost was waiting for them, as if he had known they would come running back. He looked at Taewon's bleeding arm and made an angry sound. The coalition is coming to kill you all, Taewon gasped. We need to hide. Now, Ghost led Taewon and Jiu deep into the ruins. They went down old stairs, through narrow hallways, and into places where the sun never reached. The other Kulin followed. The whole pack moved quickly and quietly. They came to a large room far underground. It connected to many tunnels. Some of the tunnels were very old, older than even the Voraxian buildings above them. They must run for miles under the planet, Taewon said, looking at the tunnels. The Kulin can hide here. Jiu shook her head. Not for long. The coalition has scanning technology. They will find them, even deep underground. And when the mining starts, these tunnels will collapse. Ghost made a series of sounds. He was asking what they would do. Taewon sat down heavily on a fallen stone. His arm hurt where the bullet had grazed him. I don't know, he said. Hiding is not enough. We need to get them off this planet completely. How? Jiu asked. We would need a ship, a big one, for all the Kulin, and somewhere to take them where they would be safe. Taewon was quiet for a moment. Then his eyes lit up. Sanctuary, he said. What? Planet Sanctuary. It's a protected world where endangered species are sent. The Scientific Council runs it, not the Coalition military. The Coalition would never agree to send the Kulin there, Jiu said. Not with their current beliefs about the Kulin, no, Taewon agreed. But what if we could prove the truth? Show them the lab records, the genetic memory. Prove the Kulin were companions, not just weapons. And how would we get this proof to the Scientific Council? Jiu asked. I have friends there, Taewon said. People who trust me. People who question the Coalition's policies on alien life. If we can get to them with proof, they might help us. Ghost made a low sound. He seemed to understand they were forming a plan. We would need a ship, Jiu said. The Coalition has ships at their base, but they are heavily guarded. One of the other Kulin stepped forward. It was smaller than Ghost, with dark red fur. It made a series of clicks and whistles. What is it saying? Jiu asked. Taewon listened carefully. I think she's saying there is another ship, not at the Coalition base. The red-furred Kulin led them to a wall. On it were scratches, marks made by Kulin claws. They formed a simple map. There, Taewon pointed. About 20 miles north of here. The Kulin have seen something there. The old Voraxian spaceport, Jiu said, understanding. The Coalition never fully explored it. They thought it was all destroyed in the war. But the Kulin have been exploring everywhere, Taewon said. If there's a ship there, it would be very old, Jiu warned. It might not work. I'm a scientist, Taewon said with a small smile. Fixing things is part of my job. Ghost made a sound of agreement. He then turned to the pack and made a series of loud calls. The Kulin began to move, gathering the pups, collecting what looked like supplies. They're getting ready to leave, Taewon said with wonder. They understand more than we thought, Jiu said. Taewon nodded. They'd been watching humans for years. Learning. Adapting. They know we want to help them escape. A sudden noise came from one of the tunnels. Footsteps. Human footsteps. The soldiers have found the tunnels, Jiu whispered. Ghost growled. Other Kulin moved toward the sound, ready to fight. No, Taewon said quickly. No fighting. If you hurt humans, you'll only prove what the coalition believes about you. Ghost looked at him, then made a soft sound. The Kulin backed away from the tunnel. We need to move now, Jiu said. To the spaceport. If we can find a ship, we might have a chance. Taewon put his hand on Ghost's shoulder. Will you trust us? He asked. Ghost pressed his head against Taewon's hand. The answer was clear. Then let's go, Taewon said. To Sanctuary. The journey through the tunnel seemed endless. Taewon, Jiu, and the Kulin moved quickly but quietly. The sounds of coalition soldiers faded behind them, but no one slowed down. Ghost led the way. He seemed to know the tunnels as well as he knew the ruins above. Another Kulin carried a small pup in its mouth. Two others helped Taewon when his injured arm made him stumble. After many hours, they reached a tunnel that sloped upward. Fresh air flowed down to them. We must be close to the surface, Jiu whispered. Ghost made a soft sound and moved up the slope. Everyone followed. They came out in a small cave. Through the cave mouth, they could see stars. It was night now. Which way to the spaceport? Taewon asked. The red-furred Kulin pointed with her nose. North, where hills rose dark against the sky. They moved through the night. The land here was different from the ruins. There were more plants, small trees growing in the valleys between hills. It was harder for the Kulin to hide here. Look, Jiu said, pointing ahead. On the other side of a wide valley, they could see buildings. Large buildings with wide, flat spaces around them. The spaceport. We need to be careful, Taewon said. The coalition might have people there too. They crossed the valley, staying low in the grass. When they reached the buildings, they saw the place was old and broken. No one had been here for many years. The ships would be in the hangars, Jiu said, pointing to the largest buildings. They approached the first hangar. The door was stuck, but two large Kulin pushed it open. Inside was darkness. Taewon used a small light from his pack to see. Empty, he said with disappointment. They tried the next hangar. It too was empty. So was the third. Maybe there are no ships left, Jiu said, her voice low. Ghost made a sound and moved to the smallest hangar at the end of the row. The door was not just closed but sealed. It took all the Kulin working together to force it open. Taewon's light shone into the darkness. There, covered in dust, was a ship. It was smaller than a coalition transport, but big enough for all the Kulin. A Varaxian scout vessel, Jiu said with surprise. They must have hidden it here at the end of the war. Taewon went to the ship's door. It opened with a hiss of old air. Inside, everything was covered in dust, but looked whole. Can you fly it? Taewon asked Jiu. I have basic flight training, she said. All coalition officers do, but this is alien technology. Let me look at the controls, Taewon said. Maybe I can figure it out. As they worked inside the ship, Ghost suddenly made a loud warning call. Outside, lights appeared in the night sky. Coalition ships. They found us, Jiu said. They must have tracked our movement from the ruins. Taewon worked faster, trying to understand the ship's systems. He found what looked like the power controls and pressed them. Nothing happened. The power cells are dead, he said. After all these years, they have no energy left. Ghost made a strange sound. He moved to a panel on the wall of the ship and pressed his head against it. The other Kulin did the same at different panels. What are they doing? Jiu asked. Then, to their amazement, lights began to come on inside the ship. Screens lit up. The engine made a low humming sound. They're powering it, Taewon said in wonder. The Kulin have some kind of electrical ability. The Varaxians must have designed these ships to be powered by them. The Coalition lights were getting closer. They could hear the sound of engines now. "Everyone on board," Taewon called. Now, the Kulin moved quickly onto the ship. Ghost was the last to enter, making sure all his pack was safe. Jiu sat at what looked like the control panel. "I think I understand the basics," she said. "But taking off." Ghost moved to stand beside her. He made a series of sounds and put his paw on a part of the panel. Jiu understood. "They know how to fly it," she said. "It's in their genetic memory." The ship rose from the hangar floor just as Coalition soldiers burst through the door. Shots hit the side of the ship, but they were already moving, rising up through the open roof into the night sky. As they climbed higher, Taewon looked back at the planet below. "We made it," he said. "Now we just have to reach Sanctuary." The journey through space was not easy. Coalition ships chased them. Warning messages filled their communication system. "This is Commander Hyun of the Galactic Coalition. Return to Voris 7 immediately or we will fire." "We can't go back," Taewon said. "Keep going." Ghost and the other Kulin worked with the ship's systems. Their connection to the old Voraxian technology was amazing. The ship moved faster than Jiu thought possible. "They're gaining on us," she said, looking at the screen that showed the Coalition ships. "We just need to reach this point," Taewon said, pointing to a map. "Once we enter this area, we'll be in Scientific Council space. The Coalition can't fire on us. They're without starting a political problem." A blast hit their ship. The whole vessel shook. "They're firing anyway," Jiu said. Ghost made a series of urgent sounds. The other Kulin responded. They pressed their bodies against different panels on the walls. The ship's engines glowed brighter. "They're giving it more power," Taewon said. "But it could hurt them." Another blast hit them. Lights flickered. A young Kulin fell away from the wall, clearly tired. Ghost took its place, though he was already connected to another panel. "He can't keep this up," Taewon said with worry. "It's too much for him." The ship surged forward, faster than before. The Coalition ships fell behind a little. On the map, they were getting closer to Scientific Council space. "Almost there," Jiu said. With a final burst of speed, they crossed the border. The Coalition ships slowed but did not stop following. "Now we need to contact the Council," Taewon said. He found the communication controls and sent a message. "This is Dr. Taewon Kim. I have important scientific findings about the creatures known as battle Hunds. I request emergency landing on Sanctuary and a meeting with the Scientific Council. Coalition forces are pursuing us." There was a long silence. Then a voice came back. "Dr. Kim, this is Dr. Minji of the Scientific Council. We have been concerned about your disappearance. Can you verify your identity?" Taewon gave his science registration number and personal codes. There was another pause. "Identity confirmed," Dr. Minji said. "Landing permission granted. Coalition forces have been instructed to stand down." On the screen, they saw the Coalition ships stop their pursuit. Ghost made a sound of relief. The other Kulin did too. Sanctuary appeared ahead of them. It was a beautiful planet, with blue oceans and green lands. The ship entered the atmosphere and flew toward a large building surrounded by gardens. They landed on a flat area near the building. Outside, people in Scientific Council uniforms waited. Dr. Minji stood at the front, a tall woman with kind eyes. When the ship's door opened, Taewon stepped out first. Jiu followed. Then, slowly, Ghost emerged. The council members stepped back in surprise. "It's all right," Taewon said to both sides. "No one is going to hurt anyone." Over the next days, Taewon showed the council everything they had found. The lab records from Voris 7. The proof that the Kulin were made as companions first, weapons second. The evidence of their intelligence, their society, their genetic memory. Ghost and the other Kulin showed their abilities directly. They worked with the scientists, learning human language better, showing how they could connect with technology. "This changes everything we thought we knew about them," Dr. Minji said after a week of studies. Will you protect them? Taewon asked. Dr. Minji nodded. The council has voted. The Kulin are now a protected species. They will have their own territory on Sanctuary. And you and Officer Park will stay as liaisons, if you wish. Taewon looked at Jiyu. She smiled and nodded. We would be honored, Taewon said. 5 years passed. On a green hill on Sanctuary, Taewon sat watching the valley below. Ghost sat beside him. They were both older now. Ghost's pale fur had more gray in it, Taewon's hair too. In the valley, human children played with young Kulin. They ran together, laughed together. One small girl rode on the back of a young Kulin, both of them clearly having fun. This is what they were made for, Taewon said softly. To be with children, to protect and play. Ghost made a sound of agreement. He looked at Taewon with eyes full of wisdom. We almost lost this, Taewon said. All of this beauty and friendship, if we had kept seeing you as monsters, as weapons. Ghost pressed his head against Taewon's hand, the way he had done that first day in the ruins. Taewon smiled. The strongest chains are not made of metal, he said. They are made of kindness and understanding. And they don't hold us down. They lift us up. In the valley, the children and Kulin played on, creating a new future together.